I'm John Leonard. I'm a business lawyer in Denver, Colorado with Fairfield and Woods. We have a video series on different aspects of the law, usually how it interacts with corporations and different things that you as a viewer might be interested in. Hopefully you're interested in it. Today we're talking with one of my colleagues, Melanie Bartlett. Melanie is a specialist in private foundations and public charities, has a broad tax background, and is a great person just to hang out with. So we just did a video, or we just did two videos on private foundations, and we just did one on forming a public charity. Let's talk more about the operations. We watched your first video, we got up and going. Now what? Do I have to worry if I can do anything I want, however I want, or how does it work going forward? And what happens if I quit? But if I just want to shut everything down, let's talk about those two aspects.
Great. I wish you could do anything you wanted, but no. So when we file the 1023, we tell the IRS what we're going to do. So that outlines the space we live in. We normally try to create a broad space so we don't color outside the lines, but that kind of gives a roadmap. So we raise these funds. You go out, you either give grants or you do mission related investments, mission related projects, similar to the private foundation world, but these are mission related. So we do that, and at the end of the year, we tell the IRS what we did.
So if I give money to United Way, for example, and I could take a write-off on my income taxes, and they take my money and they use it for all these, I guess they give it to groups here around town to do different things. And what if the United Way says, we're tired of doing all of this, we've got to shut down? What do they do with all the money that they have?
Right. Well, under the requirements from the IRS, you have to have a dissolution clause, and that requires the 501c3 public charity to actually give those funds in furtherance of its exempt purposes, which means going to other 501c3s. Now, normally we structure it so that the board gets to determine which charity it's going to. So you couldn't just give it to yourself or the board members. It has to follow the purposes that originally it was given for.
And so if there's a public charity out there that wants to shut down or dissolve or merge, they could call you and talk about how to do that and not get in trouble with the IRS. That'd be a pretty good call.
Yes. I mean, good or bad, I handle dissolutions on a regular basis, whether it's funding related or whether we're merging into another organization.
So that's kind of a trap for the unwary if they just shut down and don't call Melanie. Any other traps for the unwary that operate a 501c3 public charity?
Yes. So public charities can advocate. There's a misconception that you can't lobby. Public charities can actually do a small amount of lobbying. Most public charities, people stay away from it because we have to make sure we're capturing those expenses and actually reporting into the IRS. It can't be more than a quote insubstantial amount of our activities, but you could actually lobby. Safe Places advocating, which there's a difference in how we approach those things. But you can get in trouble there. We also have to meet this thing called the public support test. It requires money to be coming from a wider range of funders. So unlike the foundation, it can have one donor. A public charity cannot have one individual donor. It'll fail its public support test.
What about unrelated business income tax? Does that shut down the charity, or do you just pay the income tax on it and move on? And how does that all work?
Depends on how much we're talking about. So you can have unrelated business income that then translates to being taxed at the end of the year. Now, if it's a small amount, great. If it starts to getting, again, this insubstantial, it's fine. If it starts getting larger, then we might want to consider either spinning that off, putting that into a taxable sub, or backing down those operations.
Great. Well, if you're setting up a public charity, Melanie's the person to call, and definitely an ongoing relationship with Melanie for your day-to-day, year-to-year operation of the public charity and filing, it's the Form 990.
Yes.
Every year you can help out. And dissolution, if it comes to a point where you're ready to merge into somebody else, some other entity, or give away your assets to other charities, Melanie can help you with that as well. Thanks for joining us today, Melanie.
Great, thank you.
All right.